100,000. But this one is also an issue where you find the same staff, county staff, do the reconnection, with 100, 200 shillings, reconnecting meters once they're disconnected. So if you also manage to cap that, to enhance the security, I think you will be successful. I wish you well. Thank you.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Chair. I must admit that I feel very proud to be the Senator of Muranga, especially with the many accolades that you are giving to the Governor. And I've also been able to go through with him what a report about what the county has done. But Chair, maybe just to seek some clarification from the Governor, this concern for non-revenue water, which causes a lot of losses to water companies everywhere, not just in Muranga. I don't know whether there has been any investment in surveillance, because sometimes you will find a water pipe that has burst and you find it water running out for some 2-3 days. So I don't know whether there are very good plans on surveillance in order for the companies to be able to establish that there's a pipe somewhere that is leaking of water leading to non-revenue water. That is one, Chair. Number two, maybe just some guidance or clarification again. From the response by the Governor, there has been a lot of county resources being expended to support water companies, especially Muswasco and Gatamadi, whom you had established through the Auditor General's report that they were loss-making entities. I just wanted to know, now that these companies are owned by the county, does the county control the revenue that is collected by these companies? If yes, well and good. If no, then why would the county then expend resources with the companies, and the companies, of course, are collecting revenue. But if the revenue is now controlled by the county, then I can start understanding, Chair, why the county is investing in meters, solarizing, or boreholes, and that kind of thing. But if this is being done from other sources of resources from the county, then that would raise an alarm bell for me, Chair. The other thing that concerned me was this borrowing of all water companies, borrowing from customer deposits. The standard practice should be, if you borrow, then you should be able, Chair, in my view, to then pay some interest to the owner of the deposits. I don't know how this borrowing from deposits then is operated, because there should be something. Because if you are borrowed from me, then I should be able to get some interest. Chair, those are the clarifications that I would be seeking from the Governor.
Thank you so much, and thank you for those very good remarks. The county is humbled. Of course, we agree we are not 100% perfect. It's a journey, but we thank those views. Yes, allow me to respond to the issues raised by Senator Muranga and Senator Nyoto. The first one is on the surveillance. Yes, indeed, the companies have a mechanism where they go through the various pipelines and they see whether there is leakages. And whenever there is a leakage, they endeavor to repair them. But the main reason for non-revenue water mainly is not usually through bursts. It tends to be something to do with water theft. Muranga County has engaged a police unit that is called the Water Police, and they have been doing a lot of arrests, and that we believe will continuously reduce the incidence of water syndicates, and we reduce the water theft in Muranga County. Secondly, there's the issue concerning revenue of companies. We say that the revenue of the companies is not controlled by the county. It is retained, expended at the water company level. Ours is only oversight later on, but not at the expenditure level. As to why then we would proceed to support the water companies, mainly is because whatever they collect, they usually is not usually enough to meet some of their capital investments. There was an attempt by these water companies to change the tariffs, and the main argument was whatever they currently collect is not enough to do new investments in terms of extending pipelines, buying new meters. But we felt that if we do that, there'll be an outcry by the members of public, and therefore we vetoed that view. In fact, Chair, I have to admit there is currently a legal battle between Muranga County Government and WASREB, the regulator of the water sector, because we objected to the increment of water tariffs. WASREB agreed, and one water company implemented this called Muranga South, implemented on the basis is not a county government water company, and there's a huge outcry, and currently they are charging one unit 109 one unit. These other water companies are charging about 50 or thereabout. We felt the current contest doesn't allow the public. The public is not happy to pay more money to governments. So the other companies, despite getting our SREP clearances, agreed to hold implementing. But the exchange was we will invest in capital projects. That's why we have put a lot of money to extend water infrastructure in Muranga, because the companies agreed not to increase. The single company that increased, that is Muranga South, we are currently having a case before the Intergovernmental Committee here in Nairobi. And therefore, we are trying to argue on that basis. I think our investment in the water sector remains important, so that we extend more people of Muranga to be connected to the water company. And on that point, we are happy to report that places like Kambiti in Maragua, places like Makuyu, Midini, which for so many, a whole location or sublocation that has almost 20,000 residents, for the first time in history has gotten clean water. And therefore, we think the investment has been positive from where we sit. The borrowing and the interest allow me to yield to the MD.
Thank you, Chairman and honorable members. It was sorry. It was for the wisdom of the board of directors that we utilized customer deposits in terms of extension of water networks and improving efficiency, and also reducing the issue of non-revenue water, because actually when a customer comes to apply for a connection, pays a deposit. That money lies idle in the bank. So the board thought, instead of going to commercial banks, let us utilize that money, but we usually have a revolving fund where of around 50,000, where if somebody wants his deposit is available, usually get the deposit in time. So the board found it was cheaper to utilize the customer deposits because generally they may never even come for it. For example, like something like Muranga University, they have a deposit with us for water deposit. I'm not sure that Muranga University will be closed tomorrow. So that money is utilized to help increase connectivity. But as His Excellency has explained, the policy is the one which was lacking, and is in the advanced stage to ensure that that issue is achieved. Chair, I must say also that we have worked very closely with the county government. Now that we've transitioned and we are babies of the county government, we have improved on efficiency. I must report to this committee that Muranga Water was able to put Kenya and Africa in the global map last week, but we represented we represented Africa in Toronto during the International Water Conference, or for being efficient in terms of flow and revenue water, good corporate governance headed by His Excellency the Governor, and integrity on the data that we share with government and the county government. Thank you, Chair.
And maybe just to mention, the water companies, the almost 60-something water companies, they held their games last week, the entire week they were all in Muranga. And we were happy that they had chosen Muranga to host those national events. It's our first national event to be held in Muranga town. Thank you.
Senator Miraj.
Thank you, Chair. MD, through the Governor, I think you missed the question of your senator from Muranga. The question was the security of you taking monies from the customer's deposit. Do you have a policy or a regulation that when you take a certain amount, at which period, within which period of time, do you return back the money from the customer's account? And maybe do you even have interest for taking that money from the customer's account?
I think even as you know, that question had been asked previously when you appeared before us, and we had recommended that you go and come up with a policy to how to manage customer deposits. How, for example, how is the process initiated? Is there a board approval that is required? What are the interests? How many days? Those kind of things. And your response here is that the county government is in the process of coming up with one. So I think to answer the question raised by Senator Nyutu and Miraj is just to tell us what are the time frame. When is this policy going to be ready? Because all this was to be defined within the policy.
Yes, Chair.
Sorry, let the governor respond and then you come back.
Thank you, Chair. We agree and we yield. We pray for 2 months.
2 months.
2 months from today. And the CEC will have instructions to prepare a water policy to look at that, including other emerging issues in the water sector, Chair. One being...
Okay, we will extend the 2 months. Remember, we had given you until 10th August 2023, but we have no problem giving you a further 2 months. Senator Nyutu.
I just wanted to add something, Chair, that as they come up with this policy, these customer deposits lying in the bank, of course they earn interest. So the interest that is earned from these deposits should also be accounted for in the policy. I just wanted to add that, Chair.